Hi there, Alyssa. How we doing?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm doing great, doing great.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to give you an intro here, Bill, and then over to you. So I'm going to jump right into it. The Fresh Factory is a vertically integrated company focused on accelerating the growth of fresh, clean label, plant-based food and beverage brands of tomorrow. From recipe formulation to sourcing ingredients, production, packaging, and getting those delicious products to the end consumer, they are there every step of the way. And then an analogy I like to use when we're talking about the Fresh Factory is they're kind of like the Shopify of the fresh, clean label space. Fresh Factory owns or partners with emerging and established brands in the plant-based, fresh, clean label space to develop, manufacture, and sell products made from fresh produce and recognizable ingredients. Exciting recent developments. The Fresh Factory just received its conditional approval today to move over to the TSXV from the CSE, where they've been very well supported in their journey so far to date as a public company. And after almost 2 years trading in Canada this November, they're taking this next step. Here to present today is Bill Bessenhofer, the co-founder and chief executive officer of the Fresh Factory, where he oversees daily operations, strategic planning, and shareholder engagement. Over to you, Bill.
Thanks, Alyssa. I really appreciate that. That was fantastic opening. Why don't we go to just the first slide? We can have that sitting up. Morning, everybody. It's great to be here today. As Alyssa mentioned, really at the Fresh Factory, we built the infrastructure for the future of the food and beverage industry. Really our focus is on clean label, plant-based, better for you products, utilizing fresh ingredients. And I'm sure you've heard from other places, one of the most important things as we started to see today, it's more and more important to be eating fresh and clean. That's where the market's going. That's what the data is showing us and has been showing us for the past 10 years, quite frankly. And what we've been able to do is really build this vertically integrated platform to basically take product from farm to shelf, as you see there. So, we're not just your typical food and beverage manufacturing company. We're doing things that not many people are out there doing, and that's creating and producing food without additives or preservatives. We can go to the next slide. So I think one of the things that, to try to have a better understanding is, how do we really stand out? And, there are three ways that we stand out. One, just unique. We're unique in the sense that we do handle and work with fresh ingredients, dealing with, some of the largest category leaders out there in the industry, working on plant-based, again, clean label and better for you, high quality products. Secondly, again, it gets to manufacturing. I think in general, manufacturing is difficult in any industry. It's definitely in any industry, you're going to have, things that come up and things that have to be done. When you get to the food manufacturing, that becomes, harder. But then when you get to fresh food manufacturing, that's one of the hardest things out there. And then one of the reasons why, my partner and I started this, 8 years ago, we realized that there was an opening in the marketplace for fresh, clean label manufacturing products. And so when we saw that opportunity, we felt like there was a huge value add that we could provide to the marketplace by being able to do that. So really taking something from just being a concept all the way to scaling it to be able to put it on shelf. That's definitely something that isn't easy. And there aren't a lot of people out there doing it. So we felt like this was an opportunity for us to really go out there and do that and take advantage of something and help have it grow. And then three is its flexibility. So while people are looking for fresh and clean label, they're also looking for flexibility and the ability that what we've done is build an infrastructure and a facility that allows us to be nimble and quick, to where the past, I'd say the legacy infrastructure that's been built within the food industry isn't that way. We kind of built this thing from the ground up, with food safety being the most important thing. So we are an SQF level 3 facility, which is the highest form of food safety certification you can get in the industry. That's not cheap. And so for us, we had the advantage of knowing this as we built this from the start. whereas a lot of legacy infrastructure didn't necessarily have that opportunity. So to have to go back and re-put that in, that's very cost effective to them. So what we've been able to do is actually being able to build this fantastic facility that's been able to be flexible to where we can get product to shelf much faster than what legacy infrastructure can do. We're able to get products to shelf in 3 to 6 months, where in some cases, some products, when you look to larger corporations, it could take 2 years to get to shelf. We can go to the next slide. So, what's our edge? There's three things that I think that we have an edge. I think one, I kind of mentioned a little bit, we make original food. Like I mentioned, we've built this platform for the future of food, really providing honest food for all in a sustainable way. And so what do I mean by that? But providing honest food is clean. It's no preservatives, no additives. It's utilizing the fresh ingredients to make product healthy. Secondly, I think our biggest edge is we have a path to profitability. I think if you've seen in our earnings, this first half we just put out, we did $15.2 million in the first half, which is a 30% year over year increase from last year. But I think what we also saw is that our margins have continued to grow. So our adjusted gross margins increased to 29%, which is about 3.5% more than what they had been before. And then lastly, again, it goes back to our innovation. By being able to have this agile manufacturing prowess and our expert food scientists, it's really enabled the rapid product launches that we've been able to see and have with the high quality food and safe products to marketplace. That innovation allows us to get the edge that we see in the marketplace versus other competitors. Next slide. Just a quick financial highlights and capital structure, as I mentioned a little bit. We did do $15.2 million in the first half of this year. Again, the adjusted EBITDA that we had in Q2 was a loss of $100,000. So we're definitely on the right trajectory. As you can tell, we're very close to our profitability. We've got about 52.2 million shares outstanding. As of yesterday, our share price was at 95 cents, which gets us to like a market cap of close to $50 million. Next slide. And then we get to our growth outlook. I've mentioned this before. One, it's our flexible capabilities. We've built this platform with a wide product range across sales channels and packaging styles. Again, like I had mentioned before, with the way that we've set our facility up, with the equipment and the flexibility that we have, it's really allowed us to ensure efficient product manufacturing for all our customers. So while we've been able to do some great things for us, we've been able to do some for our customers as well. Second, it's growing demand. I think you probably heard it before, the fresh food industry is definitely on the rise, and people are looking for clean label products. I use this example all the time. I've got 2 young children, and one of the things that they do constantly is look at the backs of labels. That's the youth of America today. And by us, people are looking at the labels, and children are looking at labels. And if they can't pronounce what's on those labels, they're not eating it. And so, for us, that puts us again at an advantage. But we know that the demand is going to continue to grow because it is the youth that is pushing this forward. So, we're really excited about the demand and growth that we have. So then nextly, we get into our diversified verticals. I think for us, we've been really, really lucky to be very diversified. And I say that in meaning, when COVID hit, we've got customers in the retail, we've got customers in quick service restaurants, we've got customers in direct to consumer, and then we've got customers that are food service. When COVID hit, unfortunately, we lost about 30% of our revenue because a lot of our customers were in Manhattan and San Francisco, which were the quick service restaurants. But because of the fact that we're diversified and we have relationships with direct to consumer products and companies, we were able to, within 3 weeks, gain back all the sales that we had lost in a matter of in quick time. And so for us, by being as diversified as we are, we actually have revenue streams that are protected all across the board. So if things were to hit in one area, we're able to be okay in another. So it's no different than a stock portfolio with your stocks and your bonds and things of that nature. So we've kind of built that similar to the way that we're doing it with our food company here. And then lastly, I think one of the things that, I think we're really proud of is, we've really focused on profitability, right? Growth is extremely important, but I think with today's market, profitability is clearly the most important thing. So we've really focused on being a profitable company. We've got no debt, and we've got a strategic objective to be adjusted EBITDA positive by the end of this year. And then we'll be net income positive in 2024. And as you can tell, based upon our Q2 earnings, we are right there. And I can tell you that we've continued that progression as we move forward into Q3. So obviously very excited about when we present financials for Q3 in a couple months, but we're definitely on the path of on the goals that we've set for ourselves. So with that, I'm going to turn this back over to Alyssa if there's any questions out there.
Thank you very much, Bill. That's great. Just a reminder, if you'd like to ask a question, please feel free to do so by submitting through the Q&A chat. And Bill, first question here. For those who haven't had the opportunity to come see the facilities in person, can you just sort of describe what's going on? I know you've got a lot of really unique equipment. Maybe paint a picture. I'm also going to, in addressing this question, there is a video on the Fresh Factory's website that'll give you a little bit of a tour, but Bill, over to you.
Perfect. Yes. So we've got about a 50,000 square foot facility where we've got 5 lines running. And when I say 5 lines, we've got a juice line where we do cold pressed juices. We've got a shot line, which are up and coming in the industry, which are 2-ounce little shots of maybe like wheatgrass or ginger shots that you'll start to see everywhere, quite frankly. We've got a bottling line, a larger bottling line that allows us to fill anything from salad dressings all the way to potential baby food, sauces, teas, drinkable soups that we can run either cold or we can run it hot fill. And then also we've got a cup line, which is basically a rotary filler that allows us to fill anything from a 2-ounce cup into what would be a larger size, like 32-ounce cup that you'd see in Costco. So, I'll give you an example. A lot of companies have come to us to do small 2-ounce packets because salads are extremely important. And so with those salads, people need dressing. So filling out 2-ounce cups full of dressing and putting those in a packet, has become a pretty large opportunity for us. And then lastly, we've got a bar facility, which ironically, we bought a bar business, a fresh, healthy bar about 2 years ago. And that facility is about 7 minutes down the road from us, where we produce healthy bars for customers, as well as some brands that we own for ourselves. So we have a facility that can produce quite a bit. And again, not a massive place, but a large enough for us to be able to be very flexible and produce as much product as possible. I would imagine that as we continue to grow, which we see our pipeline is very deep right now, that there's a good chance that we will need to be looking to get into a larger facility so that we can take on all this growth that we see coming.
Excellent. Thanks, Bill. I can attest to the lemon ginger shots are sort of my midday go-to. So I absolutely love those in particular. And I'm a mom. I'm always trying to find interesting options, healthy options for the kids in their lunch boxes. Your bars are a hit. We had the good fortune of being able to sample some of those. So thanks again.
Thank you.
So Bill, you've had really significant financial success over the last couple of years in recent quarters, putting out some really great numbers. Can you talk a little bit about what's driving that success and help us understand? We're in an inflationary environment. Food prices are rising. You guys seem to have the formula down.
Well, I wish it was as easy as you said it, but honestly, I think for us, it was really just about, focus. It was focus on making sure that we put the right structure in place with the right KPIs and the right goals within each of our departments. As you can imagine in a test, early on as a startup, you're doing everything you possibly can to get yourself in a position to be successful. And as we've continued to grow up as a company and as an organization and have brought some talent in while also mending with the talent that we have, it really was just setting the framework and putting KPIs in place and setting the goal for our team. And it's no different, and it's very cliche. When you have everybody beating to the same drum, it makes things a lot easier to accomplish your goals. And so, one of the things we've stressed to our team is making sure that we have clear vision and a clear understanding of what the expectations are of each of our employees. And quite frankly, doing that and setting that tone from the top, and taking it all the way down to all our employees has been really successful for us.
Excellent. I've had the opportunity of meeting quite a few of your team members, and you are a very strategic and high performing team. So I can endorse that for you.
Thank you.
So can you talk a little bit about, Bill, there's a question here. Are you doing any business in Canada or serving any Canadian brands?
At the moment, yes. We do have, we work with a publicly traded large company, direct to consumer company, that has brought product to Canada. We have started about 2 months ago producing a couple SKUs for that company. And they are being delivered, I believe, to consumers in the Canadian space.
Excellent. Well, we hope that you can do a lot more in Canada. On that note, and this is just last question to wrap it up here, Bill, what's the turnover in customers like in your business?
It's a great question. I think it's funny you asked, what was, strategically, what have we done? One of the things that we've had to do is we've had to actually be very strategic in the customers that we have. We are at a position because of the growth of what we're doing. We've had to look very difficultly at some of the customers that we've had. And in some cases, we've had to turn some customers away. But our turn as it relates to people leaving us is darn near nothing. Usually if people are going, it's mostly because of the fact that, one, we don't feel like we're able to service the customer the way we need to service them, so to speak. And maybe, quite honestly, just not a fit for us anymore. But in those cases, we will do everything we can to help the customers find other places to go to, because in some cases, they're just not a fit for us.
Excellent. Well, Bill, thank you so much for your time today. This concludes our question and answer session. If anyone and everyone would like to connect with Bill, reach out through the Fresh Factory's Investor Relations website or reach out to one of our team members directly. We'd be happy to connect you. And don't forget to add the ticker FRSH on the CSE, soon moving over to the TSXV. So more to come on that. Thank you again, Bill.
Thank you so much.